Welcome, Army fans. This is Joe Iacono with GoBlackKnights.com, along with Army senior defensive lineman Trey Sofia. Trey, how's practice been going for you so far this week? I know you guys aren't in full pads yet, but kind of how have the first couple days been for you?
So first couple days, we're going out there just in spider pads. So really just trying to hone in on the fundamentals and trying to put together some of the work we did during the off season this summer with our player-led practices. And then today was our first day with pads. We weren't in full pads, but got a chance to interact with the offense a little bit and a lot to work on. Definitely a little rust. Going some live reps against the offense for the first time and since the spring. So it's encouraging, but definitely still a lot of work to do.
And Trey, if I'm not mistaken, you had a position change this offseason from outside backer, dog backer, I think, down to a down defensive end, rush end, for lack of a better term. What has transition been like for you? Have you played in a down 3-point stance before on the line? Kind of give us a little history there for us and let us know what it's been like in terms of you picking up the new some of the fundamentals around the new position.
Yes, sir. So in high school, I played defensive end. I had my hand down for a lot of my reps, and I was recruited here to play D line. I was playing with the D line at the prep school my freshman sophomore year, and last year it was actually that was the new position for me,
Okay, got
playing
it.
outside linebackers. So that was a lot more work, but it feels good to be back with Dre Miller, Kyle Lewis. Those are the guys I came in at the prep school with, playing D line with, and I've got a lot of rust to knock off, picking up the old fundamentals that I didn't really work on for the past year. But it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to this season with it.
Good stuff. And what are your goals for kind of the rest of fall camp here leading up to the first game at the end of August? What are you specifically trying to work on that you think will get you ready for the season?
For me, and I think just the whole D line room together, I think it's just consistency. I think if we can all as a unit master the fundamentals and be able to go out there and roll with no drop off between every single guy, that's definitely my goal to hold up my end of that bargain. And I think all of us are on that same page.
And I know, playing the D line conditioning comes into play a lot. I know Coach Woody likes to keep everybody's legs fresh and rotate guys out and get everybody some rest. So, how would you rate your conditioning at this point in camp?
I think it's pretty good. Yeah, it's always tough going out there in pads for the first time, especially throwing on the knee braces too. It adds another element to it. But huge shout out to Coach Hughes, Coach Mo, working with the line group, running with us this summer, and I think we're all in really good shape.
Good. And as a senior, as a veteran player who's been around the program a number of years, there's a lot of young talent, especially on the defensive line. I'm not going to name names, but there's some super high quality plebes who came in from the prep school. How have you been kind of mentoring those folks and what are you focused on with them? I know, early on the freshmen have been practicing separately a little bit, but not sure how much interaction you guys have had.
Yeah, so they've been practicing separate for the first couple of days, and we got one more shot out there separated, but then we'll all be together. And honestly, I've been amazed at how quickly they've picked up a lot of the terminology, a lot of the schemes. Tyler Komorowski, former D lineman, was coaching up a lot of those guys at the prep school, and it's pretty obvious he did a really good job because honestly, they're all pretty familiar with a lot of the stuff, and even the direct kids that haven't been exposed to it at all, they're picking it up really fast, and it's super encouraging because I know there's a lot of talented guys, and I think we're gonna be in good hands for a long time.
And there's been a lot of news this off season. Clearly, with GBK being part of the media, we see what comes up on other sites and articles and preseason articles and everything. And everybody's talking about the inexperience of the Army defense and how that could pose problems early on in the season or whatever. But when I spoke with Coach Woody in the spring, he had mentioned, that may be the case in terms of starting and game reps and everything, but that he feels like this is maybe the deepest crew he's had in a long time at Army. So, do you guys, this is kind of a two-part question for you, Trey. Part A, do you guys use any of that as motivation? Kind of just to build a little extra chip on your shoulder, and part B, kind of talk a little bit to the depth that the defensive team has this year.
Yeah, I mean, the doubters are always good. It gives you a little bit of fuel, but I think honestly, a lot of us just kind of block out that noise and try to focus on us. But I really couldn't agree more. I think we have a super deep unit. I think we have really, really good leadership, especially with the upper class, and even the upperclassmen that are going to be getting a lot of reps. They have a lot of experience, and it really just reflects some of the older guys that have come and graduated. How good of a job they did mentoring us. And I think we're going to be really good this year.
And Trey, the program, the official roster from Army West Point Athletic Communications lists you currently at 6'6", 240. Is that relatively accurate, or have you put on some weight going back to the D line?
I'm still holding around that way, yes, sir.
Okay, good stuff. Got some speed getting to the quarterback on the edge there on the perimeter. So that's great. All right. So, Trey, last couple questions for you. Fans always like to get to know a little bit more about the players. So, give us your academic major and your number one choice for branch preference in the fall.
So I'm a political science major, focusing on the American politics side. Going to be finishing that up this year, taking my last couple classes for that. So really looking forward to it. And then I'm kind of going back and forth between field artillery and infantry, but I'm going to be making that decision really soon. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, there we go again, Army fans. We another FA slash infantry guy. That seems to be the two football choices
Yes, sir.
for most of the team. So for those of you keeping score at home, that's where we are. And then the last question I have for you, Trey, since the Summer Olympics are going on right now, if you were not a college football player and were participating in an Olympic sport, what sport do you think you'd be participating in?
I'd like to think I'd be a hooper, but I don't think I'd have the talent to be out there with those guys. But I think swimming would be pretty cool.
Nice. Well, you got the long frame, so could definitely work on that. So, hey, thanks a lot for your time, Trey. Best of success to you the rest of fall camp leading up to the Lehigh game. Army fans, this has been Joe Iacono with GoBlackKnights.com, along with Army senior defensive lineman Trey Sofia saying, Go Army.